peculiar. The senior clergy here are answerable to the sovereign and not to any archbishop or other part of the Anglican communion. There's a very strong bond between the monarch, as Prince William will be one day, and Westminster Abbey, and this, of course, is where one day he will be crowned king. Quite a responsibility for Prince Harry, not just for the speech which he had to deliver later, but he had the stag do to organise, which he apparently did with a good deal of energy and diligence and secrecy. It gave him a lot of pleasure. And what's going to happen is the Receiver General of Westminster Abbey, who is responsible for all the administration of the Abbey, will lead the Prince and his best man, his brother of course, Prince Harry, along the nave. They know all about the flowers and the trees because they were part of planning them. And they've seen them in a few rehearsals, so it will not take them by surprise. I'm sure they'll be delighted with the result. Leading them all the way along the nave, through the choir screen, the organ loft, which splits the Abbey, in a sense, and then into the choir, the more intimate area, where that wedding ceremony will take place in about 40 minutes' time. Since 1066, the remarkable thing to say, every coronation taking place here, apart from two, Edward V and Edward VIII weren't crowned, but every other king and queen crowned here at Westminster Abbey. It is a cradle of royal power. And Simon Chalmers, the historian, still with me, as we see Prince William making his way here, we feel all that history resonating.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, 1066 was, as everybody out there knows, don't have to be a history graduate to know there was a very quick coronation for Harold to make sure that he was staking his claim in front of Edward the Confessor, and he paid the grief. But what William, now the Duke of Cambridge, must be feeling is that this, in some sense, is the overture to a grey arc of a career in front of him, which indeed will be consummated in a much more formal, august, solemn way when he's crowned.
William, as promised, is just meeting a few friends and other acquaintances. I think he's spoken to the Spencer family here, and members of the Spencer family, two sisters of the late Diana, and Earl Spencer, her brother, is also in this group on the left-hand side. I think Harry's just having a word with him there. The princes are very good friends with Earl Spencer's children. Three daughters are sitting just a few rows back. And this group in the lantern does contain, in the back rows, quite a few of those close friends of William the King. The Sultan of Brunei is making his way into the Abbey, one of the wealthiest monarchs in the world, and they have close links with the royal family here. Just greeting a few people along the nave as they make their way in. This big royal group, foreign royal group, taking its place in the south transept. They're beating their paces there. Princess Lalasana of Thailand making her way in, as the princes make their way along to another part of the Abbey, because they want to have probably a little chat together. And that's a little private area behind the high altar, and they'll be going along to St. Edmund's Chapel. That's the traditional holding area, if I can call it that, because it is a sacred place. It's a traditional area where the groom waits. It's where Prince Andrew waited for his bride to arrive, Sarah Ferguson, back in 1986. It was different in 81, of course, because Charles and Diana were married at St. Paul's Cathedral. The King of Tonga is the next to arrive. Prince Albert of Monaco with his fiancée, Charlene Wittstock, the South African swimmer, being shown to their places. Prince Albert, the son of the Prince Rainier and the late Grace Kelly. The Serbian royal family also joining. The bride's mother and brother are on their way. Carol Middleton, James Middleton. James Middleton will be taking part in the service and be responsible for one of the readings. Very difficult to get a glimpse inside the Jaguar from the Royal News, but it's quite a thing to imagine what's going through their minds on this short journey to Westminster Abbey. Carol Middleton, who within a few generations her family's come from miners in the north of England to being very successful business people today, who live in West Berkshire, on her way to Westminster Abbey to see her daughter Catherine marrying Prince William, the second in line to the throne. It's a remarkable thing. All eyes will be on Carol Middleton when she arrives at the Abbey, because there's been quite a lot of talk about the process of choosing her clothes for today. So I'm sure that Sophie and her guests will have something to say about that. I'm now being told, because these details are coming in at the last minute, that Mrs. Middleton is in fact wearing a sky blue wool crepe coat dress with matching satin piping, and it's designed by Catherine Walker, and the hat by Berkshire-based Jane Colbert. So that's the detail, but for the impact, of course, we'll have to wait for the car doors to open outside the Abbey. Middletons have been remarkably discreet about the relationship over the last 8 years between their daughter and Prince William, but they have said one or two things. Memorably, when the engagement was announced, talking about William, they said, "We think he's wonderful, we're extremely fond of him, they make a great couple, they're fun to be with." The word fun comes up a lot when you talk about this young royal couple. We have lots of laughs together. And they were paying tribute to their future son-in-law just before Christmas when that engagement was announced. Back in Westminster Abbey, we have other members of foreign royal families here. The Queen of Denmark is the next to arrive, and the Grand Duke and the Grand Duchess of Luxembourg. And then the Prince of Orange and Princess Maxima of the Netherlands. Being greeted now are the King and Queen of Norway, happening now, because at Buckingham Palace we have some members of the royal family on their way in the mini coaches. They lead to the trumpeter's salute. And they include Duke and Duchess of Kent, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. Bride's mother and bride's brother. emerging from Portsmouth Arch, the last leg of their journey to Westminster Abbey. Simon Sharma is still with me and watching these images with great interest too, and just the concept of the commoner marrying into the royal family. Simon.
Yes, watching the youthful coaches, absolutely something new, and that again makes the point, apart from the magnificence of the occasion, is also sort of sense of they're just like us, from ordinary moments, and people are responding to this mixture of spectacle and identification. Well, it's a good thing.
But that's it, isn't it?
There's a bus. I mean,
That's where modern meets traditional.
Yes, I mean, that could be, the football team, that's been playing away, really, but they're playing at home.
It's a lovely view. A brief glimpse of the Mall. And you just get a sense that of how the crowds respond when they see who's coming. They've no idea, I don't think, who's in these coaches, but they get a sense because of the escort, they sense it's going to be an important section of the congregation, in this case, members of the royal family.
Here we have the mother of the bride, Carol Middleton. What a proud woman she must be this day. And there was her son. Wearing Catherine Walker. Philippa, let's see, you actually gasped with surprise when you said that. What a nod to Princess Diana, to Catherine, Princess Diana wore Catherine Walker a lot of the time. So how lovely is that? Have you possibly looked? And this has been presumably designed by her studio, because Catherine Walker, of course, sadly died last year.
Catherine Walker had been ill for a very long time with cancer, and her partner, Saeed, is carrying on with the business and keeping the studio open. But it's very signature Catherine Walker style, isn't it? Very sleek, very tailored, it's quite simple. It's such a challenge for the mother of the bride, isn't it? Because what on earth do you wear? Very, very open. And the colours of it is just so especially the kind of mother of the bride palette is not always the easiest thing.
And as we understand it, she has been through a few different designers before settling on this, but she looks stunning, stunning, fits beautifully, yeah? And not too big, so...
No, you can see, and also, isn't it because it's not a stitched in waist, so you can see that a waist is defined, but it's all quite, kind of vertical, and just linear waist. It does look good on that. And when I heard it was powder blue, I thought, she could be in Queen Mother territory, couldn't she? But actually it's like a grey blue. It's almost like a pearly blue. I like that.
And so much the shape that Princess Diana used to wear as well.
Big shoulder.
Silhouette. Well, I spoke to her yesterday and she was very calm, very collected, and she did say though that she would be